Officer Dade, would you open my courtroom, please?
The state of Michigan 36th District Court is now in session with the Honorable Judge David S. Robinson Jr. presiding. Court is now in session. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Voorhees, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good.
You got Kajana Marshall?
Correct.
Okay, I have a pair for you. Mr. Hill, who do you have here today?
I'm representing plaintiff against Consumer Portfolio Services versus Jessica Fred.
And you have the plaintiff?
I am the plaintiff, Your Honor. Yes, represent the plaintiff.
Your name is Hill. All right, Mr. Hill, I don't have anybody for you. You're off to the waiting room.
Okay.
Mr. Voorhees, I have your opponent. Gumtow.
Is he on?
Okay. Both of you guys are here on Kajana Marshall versus Nationwide.
Correct, Your Honor.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, let's call your case to get you started. We are on the record. This is file number 19180-403. The file is entitled Kajana Marshall versus Nationwide Mutual Fire Insurance, your respective appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brian Voorhees appearing on behalf of plaintiff P81834.
Your appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Dan Gumto appearing on behalf of defendant Nationwide.
All right. Now, where are we on this file, given that our discovery is closed? Are we settled?
We have not, Your Honor. I know I am trying to get a hold of Medicare to get an updated lien amount, and I know opposing counsel, we talked briefly. They subpoenaed the service provider, and she didn't show, and I think they filed a motion. Dan can elaborate on that.
That's correct, Your Honor. Following the last pretrial conference, which was at the end of October, we filed a motion to show cause the care provider, Calnate Young. I'm not sure if we have a hearing date for that yet, Your Honor.
Well, I have received the motion. Tell me about, in general, tell me about your motion. Did you serve?
So in general, we subpoenaed Ms. Young. She was personally served with a subpoena. She failed to appear for a deposition on October 21st. So we filed the motion. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Where was she to appear for the deposition?
Via Zoom, Your Honor. We send everyone a letter explaining, it's going to be conducted via Zoom, and please contact us, and we'll be able to give you the Zoom info. And we were never contacted. She failed to appear.
All right. Do you have any control over this person, Mr. Voorhees?
I don't have any direct contact with her. I can speak with my client to see what's going on about that. I think I had originally talked to her and she was going to talk to her, and I haven't heard back on why she didn't appear.
And how long do you think you're going to need to get your Medicare thing going?
I had originally sent a request way back, never received anything. I sent another request I think yesterday, as I noticed, we never received anything. Usually they respond within generally 21 to 30 days.
All right. So if I gave you guys a 30-day return date, that would give us an opportunity both for you to have your information on Medicare and for us to have a show cause hearing in relationship to the witness, Ms. Young. Is that fair to say?
Yes,
Yes, Your Honor.
That works? Okay. How about then, we calendar you guys for March 1 at 10 o'clock. Does that work for everybody?
Works for the defense, Your Honor.
And how about you, sir?
I'm looking at my calendar now. Please give me a second.
Sure.
Yes, I can do that, Your Honor.
March 1, 2021, at 10 o'clock, we will hear defendant's motion for order to show cause. We will schedule the matter for pretrial as well. Now, Mr. Gumtow, have you served with the witness, Ms. Young, with your motion?
Yes, yes. I'm not sure if we have, but I can make sure that she's personally served with the motion
And
a
the
letter
notice of the hearing?
Yep, and give her Zoom instructions. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Yes, everything is going to be on. I don't think I'm going to see anybody in person except my wife for the rest of this year. That's what I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I kind of agree with you on that one.
I think that's where we're going.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So March 1st, 10 o'clock, we'll set the file for pretrial and for the motion for the order to show cause. Make sure, Mr. Gumtow, that you file your motion and your proof of service so we can make sure we get everybody moving in the right direction as soon as we can.
Right.
Okay?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. What do we need to file?
You're gonna serve Ms.
Yes.
Young, file
Yep.
proof of service of that notice, and you're gonna serve her with notice of today, of the date, the March 1st hearing, and the Zoom directions.
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
Got it?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, guys, March
Great.
1st, 10 o'clock. Let's make
Great.
it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Your
Thank
Honor.
you, gentlemen. We're off the record. You guys are free to go.
Great.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Yep.
All right, do I have both sides now on the Dearborn Total Automotive matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's call your file. We are on the record. This is case number 2015048. The file is entitled Dearborn Total Automotive versus Belinda Ellis. Date and time for pretrial. It also appears that a motion concerning discovery has been filed on behalf of the defendant. Your respective appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor. Trevor Stratton, P65124 for the plaintiff.
Good morning, Your Honor. Angela Malvig, P83921 with Lakeshore Legal Aid on behalf of defendant.
Okay. Do you, Mr. Stratton, have a copy of her motion for to compel discovery?
I do have it, yes.
Okay. I'm not ruling on it right now. I just want to know if informally, if you guys can resolve your problem.
We probably can. I just need to review the motion and the interrogatory or whichever requests that she's particularly asking about, which I haven't done yet.
Because when I look at my last note here from January, I closed discovery as of February the 1st. So how about we do this? I give you guys, what do you think, 2 weeks to decide whether you need to go forward with this motion? Set that motion for hearing for 2 weeks?
That works for me.
It works for me as well.
Everybody?
Yep.
Let's get a date and let's get you on here then. Where's my calendar? Oh, okay. Where I put it? Oh, yeah. So that would be, oh, that's gonna be a problem because that's President's Day, February 16th. which is, I think, the next day, and I think I'm pretty jammed that day. How about which Thursday, February 11th, give you enough time to look at this and make your decision?
I will make it so that it does.
Okay, Ms. Mulvig, that works for you?
Yes, it does, Your Honor.
All right, so February 11th at 10 o'clock, I will calendar both pretrial and the defendant's motion to compel. Is there anything else we can accomplish today?
I think that's it on our end, Your Honor.
Same for me, Your Honor. I'm good.
All right, February 11th at 10 o'clock, defendant's motion to compel. And the pretrial conference. Okay, again, we'll do this obviously on Zoom. We'll send you guys notice, talk to you on February the 11th at 10 o'clock. Let's get this matter worked out. This discovery matter shouldn't be a big deal.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks for coming in. We're off the record. Do you have another matter, Mr. Stratton, or are you done?
I believe I do at 10 o'clock with, I'm representing the defendant on 20-155674.
Okay, I have Ms. Strickhart's here on that. So hang
All
on
right.
a minute and let me finish your first matter. And then I'll get Ms. Strickhart's in here. We'll get going on your next matter.
Sounds good.
That one. Which one is next? Strickhart's is 674. That was it, Mr. Stratton?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I got it. Let's get her in here. Okay, I think I have a pair on Midland Credit Management versus Shabutu Furtis. Is that right? Pronounce that correctly?
That sounds about right.
Okay, let's call it file. We are on the record. This is file number 20155-674. The case is entitled Midland Credit Management versus Shabutu Furtis. We are here for pretrial. Discovery closed on this file on February 1st. Could I have your respective appearances?
Good morning, Your Honor. May it please the court, Suzanne Strickhardt, STRICHARTZ, P44018 on behalf of the plaintiff.
And good morning again, Your Honor. Trevor Stratton, P65124 on behalf of the defendant.
Okay, I have a closed file in terms of discovery. I have a motion for summary disposition filed on behalf of plaintiff. Mr. Stratton, are you in receipt of that motion?
I am in receipt of the motion. We have made an offer. The plaintiff's counsel was asking for more information from my client, which I am waiting for my client. So hopefully we can resolve it that way.
Yeah.
And if not, summary disposition will be on the table.
Let's calendar this matter then for the motion for summary disposition. Does March 1st work for everybody?
It works for me.
Ms. Strickhardt?
Yes, Your Honor. At 10?
At 10 o'clock. That's okay, Mr. Stratton?
Yes.
Okay, what I will do is I will calendar for March 1st at 10 o'clock, the plaintiff's motion for summary disposition. Is there anything else we can accomplish today?
Not from plaintiff, Your Honor.
Mr.
No,
Stratton?
Your Honor.
Okay, then we're going to go off the record. The court will release you both. Thank you both for coming in and be safe.
Thank you,
You too,
Judge.
Judge. Take care.
Hi, Suzanne.
Bye.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
I don't have your opponent as of yet. We'll give that individual till 10:30. Then if not, we'll take you back in and we'll default at that point in time.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Your Honor.
Back to the waiting room for you.
Okay.
Listener supported WRCJ with Beethoven in the 8th place, 32 Pianos the story of Dorothea von Ertmann. It's the person for whom Beethoven composed for the 8th place. Like Beethoven, she was from Germany. Like Beethoven, she relocated to Vienna. So where their paths crossed. He dedicated his piano style number 28 to the very first wife. At the time, she was one of the best pianists in Germany, one of the best pianists in Vienna anywhere. During her time, Dorothea von Ertmann played 28 piano sonata by Beethoven. It's just one back in the Baron performance of the RCJ. Speaking of great pianists,
When Detroit-born pianist Sergio Taylor improvised a jazz solo, he drew upon influences ranging from Art Taylor to Debussy and Chopin, playing in a style that stunned his bandmates by its complexity. Hannah did not categorize music. To him, it was just one music. Like Sergio and Hannah, WRCJ presents the best music, whether it's classical or jazz. I'm Krista Grace, thanking you for your support.
Detroit harpist Krista Grips, thanks for the Roland Hannah profile, and we have jazz profiles all over for series 28 grades. Check it out at WRCJ's Facebook page and the website at WRCJ.com. Frederick Delius here with the song Great City is not very as well. It's music about his long-time love affair with Paris. How many composers have written music inspired by great cities of the world? Of course, Mozart, Paris Symphony. Tchaikovsky composed his Symphony of Florence, his many works in Italy. There's Elgar's Hackney Overture in London town, and Maurice Ravel's La Valse was originally Vienna. Delius loved those years so much. He's 12 years. Paris met his wife there, and one music writer described Paris as the corner of his own soul. Delius. So Frederick Delius, Paris, the song of the great city. Here's one of our birthday guys, the BBC Symphony, WRCJ.
We are on the record calling file number 20156-309. This file is entitled Consumer Portfolio versus Jessica Fred. By a notice dated January the 12th, 2021, this matter is set for Zoom pretrial today, February 2nd at 10 o'clock. It's currently 10:30. Could I have your appearance?
Attorney Ethan Hill for Consumer Portfolio Services, Your Honor.
Bar number.
Oh. Sorry. P84087.
All right, sir, you were representing the plaintiff. The defendant's answer
Yes.
indicated that this debt was included in my Chapter 7 bankruptcy. You know anything about that?
Yeah, and Your Honor, I'd like to address that on the record. She actually filed bankruptcy and then entered into this contract after she had filed for bankruptcy. So this contract was entered into post bankruptcy filing, so it's not covered by the bankruptcy.
This is not.
I have the dates if you want me to
Put
get them
that
for
on
you.
the record, please. She gave the case number of 20. Oh, that no, I think that's my case number. She gave 20196-300 as her Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Now,
The bankruptcy I see is 2015 BK 42584. It was a Chapter 7, and it was filed on February 24th, 2015.
Okay.
If you go to our the executed agreement that was executed on 5/8/15.
Okay, the bankruptcy was filed, what date again?
2/24/15, Your Honor.
2/24/15. Attached to your complaint is a agreement dated 5/8/15, which would be after the bankruptcy filing.
Correct.
All right, sir, the defendant has failed to appear. No good cause of that failure having been shown. I look forward, sir, to your default judgment. Send it in under the 7-day rule.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day. We're off.
You too. Thanks.
some indisposition. morning.
Good morning, Judge.
We are on the record calling file number 2019-172399. This case, I'm sorry, incorrect file number. Correct number is 19-172399. Wadi Al-Toon versus Ali El Khalil. A motion was filed for summary disposition on behalf of defendant Khalil. Your respective appearances.
Good morning, Judge. Abdul Karim Saad, PA 4038, on behalf of defendant Mr. Ali Al Khalil.
What is your name, sir? Mr. Ewald, are you with us?
Sorry, Judge, I just was able to get the audio working. I am now.
Your appearance, sir.
Edward Ewald on behalf of the defendant, or on behalf of the plaintiff, Wadi Al-Toon.
Bar number.
P43751.
Mr. Saad, your motion.
Yes, sir. Judge, this is our motion pursuant to MCR 2.116 C8 and C10. If I may begin with the conversion claim.
Yeah, let's not focus on that. I think Mr. Ewald's position that conversion is not a short subject to the 2-year limitation is correct. So let's move forward to your claim, which is, as I understand it, your client, Mr.
Judge, if I may, before we move on. Okay.
Go ahead.
So in regards to the conversion claim, we're stating that it's a 3-year time bar, and he's stating it's governed under MCL 600.5813, which states all other personal actions are to be commenced within 6 years. We're referring to MCL 600.5805, subsection 2, which states a person shall not maintain an action to recover damages for injuries to persons or property. The statute of limitations in that subsection is 3 years.
Mr. Ewald?
Your Honor, for some reason, I can't seem to access my brief at the moment, but I cite not only our statute pertaining to the statute of limitations, I also cite case law in support of the position that in our situation, the statute of limitations is 6 years and not 3 years.
All right, let's move forward.
Yes, Judge.
Here's my problem here. Without making a decision on the question of conversion, I have a question for Mr. Ewald.
Yes.
Who, as I understand it, represents the plaintiff.
Correct.
When do you contend your client's property was removed on the premises?
I do not have a specific date, Your Honor. I know that it was after, I believe, October 15th of 2016, whatever. I have the deed that's attached to my motion showing that Mr. Al Khalil took ownership of the property.
So let me make sure I understand this. In between the time that Mr. Khalil acquired the property from the tax sale, and incidentally, I was kind of concerned by your client's affidavit. He says he always paid the taxes, and yet the property was conveyed by tax sale. Could you enlighten me in regard to that? I don't understand how both of those things can be true.
His position is that he did pay his taxes at one point. He left the country to work with the government in Iraq. He believed that his taxes had been paid. His position is that he never received notice. And the ways that the statutes are set up for him, or set up for anybody, is that once certain time periods have lapsed, you don't have the ability to reacquire the property.
Yeah, once the period of redemption is gone.
Right. Well, he was not aware of the tax issue until all of this occurred.
How long was your client out of the country, sir?
I believe he was out of the country for 2.5 years.
Well, the problem that I have is you don't typically go to tax sale until you're 3 years behind.
Understood. The county has taken the position that they provided him with all the adequate notice, and his position is he never received notice at all.
Okay.
The county contends they posted it on the fence on the building, and he says he has never seen any notice on the property.
Okay. So let me make sure I understand your position. Ali Al Khalil acquired the property in a tax sale sometime in October 16, 2015.
Correct.
Sometime after that, and you don't know when, it is your contention that your client had personal property inside of the property at Nichols that was taken or stolen or converted.
Correct. If I may,
Here's my
and-
problem. Here's my
Okay.
problem, sir. Let me cut right to the chase.
all right,
It appears that Mr. Khalil's individual ownership of the property at issue was for a very limited time period. He got it by quitclaim deed from the Wayne County Treasurer, October 16, 2015. On December 3rd of 2015, he quitclaimed to Detroit Real Estate LLC. And my concern is, even assuming that there was a conversion, even assuming your client had all this property in here that he claimed, he cannot demonstrate that the conversion occurred during the period of time the only defendant in this case, Mr. Khalil, owned the property. Mr. Khalil, as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm wrong a lot, is a resident agent of Detroit Real Estate LLC. But as a resident agent, he no longer owned the property after December 3rd. And you can't say when your client's property left the premises.
Your Honor, if I may,
Sir,
my client would testify to the fact that shortly after Mr. El Khalil took ownership of the property, he became aware because he was denied access to the property. The locks had been changed. The tenant that my client had on the property would not allow him access to the property based on the instructions from Mr. El Khalil.
okay, the tenant that your client had in the property
Correct.
before your client lost the property
Correct.
did not admit your client.
He would not.
That's what you're telling me?
Yeah, Your Honor, the property itself is surrounded by fencing with a lock, and then there's a lock on the door. The
Mhm.
locks had been changed, and he was denied access to the property.
All right, assuming that to be true, how does that help us with your burden of demonstrating that during the time he owned the property, Mr. Khalil converted your client's property? I'm still not seeing that.
But denying access to the property to have access to his personal property
Let's
is
assume-
conversion.
Okay, is there anything else either of you gentlemen want to tell me that is not in your briefs?
I know, Your Honor.
Judge, the only thing I'd like to mention, which I think you alluded to, the proper party may be in this, the proper party may be the county of Wayne if the plaintiff is claiming that they didn't receive notice and/or they paid their taxes. There is a due process issue there, and I believe statute MCL 211.78 does provide a cause of action for that type of conduct.
That might very well be, but that's beyond the subject matter jurisdiction of the district court.
Yes, Judge.
One has to look at the affidavits here. And the affidavit of Mr. Khalil is that he had no access to the premises. Your client, Mr. Ewald, said he was denied access to the premises, he being Mr. Altoon. There is no dispute based on these affidavits that Mr. Khalil did not have keys to the property. That's the problem. And since you cannot tell me when Mr. Altoon's property got up and walked away, obviously jacks and lifts and things like that, they probably, need a little help walking away. I'm constrained to find there's no genuine issue of material fact here. I find, and I make no decision on the issue of conversion because it's not necessary to my decision. The defendant's motion for summary disposition is granted. defendant not being a proper party to this litigation. Now, if you want to have someone else involved, that might be another day, another time. But what I have here is I have a limited window of time during the time that Mr. El Khalil owned the property. There's no evidence other than that he himself could not get in the property during that time. Then he conveyed it to an LLC. The defendant's motion for summary disposition is granted.
Thank you, Judge.
Anyone who disagrees with my decision, of course, has an absolute right to appeal. That appeal must be perfected within 21 days of today in the Wayne County Circuit Court. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in. We are off the record.
Thank you, Judge.
I have one more question.
Paul?
Mr. Ewald, as regards to the order, is council going to prepare it or is the court just going to issue an order?
I'm going to issue the granting the summary disposition on the judgment form as soon as I hang up from you gentlemen today, and it will be mailed out to you gentlemen today or tomorrow.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Judge.
We're off.
Judge,
Sir?
may I ask you a question unrelated off the record?
All right, let me close this out.
Do I need to be part of this?
No, I made my.
Nothing to do with the case.
All right, Mr. Saad, give me just a moment.
Yes, sir.
I'll stop the live stream.